You got this and you got that, and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
Poppin', everybody, and welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast, where it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, my boy Landon. What's poppin', Landy? How you feeling today?
Good. I put my phone down at the right time because I knew it had to come here as to if issues and difficulties offset.
We have a lockbox for that now.
Do we?
No, but you were about to get one.
I don't need one. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
We'll see. Can I slap your hand every time you touch your phone?
I had to end my turn, man.
My God, what the fuck's wrong with you? The camera's on you.
Yeah.
What's
the goal here? Are you just playing for fun? Are you trying to be world class? What's the deal?
I'm trying to be the very best that no one ever was.
For those that don't know, Landon has an obsession with Magic the Gathering.
He does.
The game that he started playing when he was like 8.
Some people have
Shiba
Inu doggy coins. Some people have their own Trump coins. I'm just here playing a game on my own.
The magic coin. Is there a magic coin?
And we have a special guest that would also appreciate my endeavors. And I'm not going to give it to you. I'm saying Jesse's in the building.
We're so fucking back.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
We're so fucking back. I love this.
This guy acts like
much.
I don't have eyes. I see everything. This is what happens.
All right, so basically what's happening right now, Landon went to go throw it to our guest, which is Sir Jesse. But Sir Jesse isn't ready yet. He's nowhere near ready. But yet Landon decided to say his name. Yes, your mic is on, Jesse.
My name,
but that's all right. Don't worry. We're all discombobulated anyway at the moment. We're good. But yeah, the point is, Landon, talk to me, baby. What you got for me?
All I know is
put your goddamn phone down. What did you do at PokerGo yesterday? How was it?
I lost money. I lost money. I only lost one time. Pretty good for the morale, Good for morale to only lose once, but
One bullet?
How did you bust?
Bullet.
One bullet seems great.
I jammed King 7 off for 15 bigs, blind versus blind, and he hit ace jack, and that was that.
Oh, that sounds miserable, actually. That's a really annoying spot.
That's what happened. It's just good poker.
I lost a fucking bet to this asshole over here because everybody's still in Florida. It was only 117,000 at first.
117,000?
What did you bet?
I bet over 150.
Higher than 150?
Well, I thought it's the opening events. Everybody that's everybody that's in the mid, it will play these events because they're just opening events for double points. So, but what I didn't put together is that everybody's still in Florida.
They are still in Florida.
Everybody that I expected to take a shot here at this first 5K is still in Florida. So I probably won't get the results I was thinking about until
Yeah, they're busy playing the main, the 3,500 main that I did not go to. I did not get to FT defend as per other things in life happened. But.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but what's popping with you, little man? I know you've been in the crypto streets talking.
No, I don't do any of that stuff.
What have you been doing? You've been trumping it?
I got a little trump.
You got a little trump?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a little
We're in the profits.
You're on the come up.
Right, exactly.
By the way, how is that Jeff Platt endorsed No Gamble, No Future coin going?
Oh, yeah. It is, what did I say I was going to do? I bought $10 of it last Friday. It's at $9.
Oh, okay.
So, down 10%, but, it's holding strong.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually...
Everything seems to be coming back with some good crypto news today, so...
What's the crypto news?
The new SEC chairman said that they are going to... there was an article about I forget what it was, but something about
Was it like checks and balances?
Yeah,
or something
regulatory.
They're going to create a framework, essentially.
Right.
Is he back? Are you here?
Hello.
Oh my God, he made it.
What's poppin', Jesse? How you feeling?
How are we doing?
I'm chilling. How'd you do this weekend in the UFC? I know you've been talking about it.
I did poor. I only made one bet. I did poorly.
Okay.
I made one bet on a man who did not win.
Who is that?
You very much didn't win in the third round.
Who is this?
Jamal Hill.
Oh.
I took Jamal as well.
Ooh,
yeah.
He got lit up.
He did. I kind of feel like I'm okay with the bet. The closing line was in my favor as well.
Okay.
But I failed to bet Marab. And that made me very sad.
That boy got some gas in him.
He is the greatest.
I said it the other day. I see him around town all the time. Like, he has to live within 2 miles of here. I see him all the time. And he's just, like, really nice to people and stuff. So I always root for him. And the one time I saw him fight, I think it was against Petr Yan.
Yeah.
And his cardio is just fucking absurd, man.
Jan is so good, too. And he made Jan look like a child in that fight. It was insane.
It was absolutely insane.
I know people endlessly talk about the gas tank, but it's just incredible what he can do. I swear he could have fought 5 more rounds against Umar if he needed to. Like, it was crazy to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. What's poppin', Burke? How you feeling?
I think I finally got to the root of the problem of why we didn't make the finals for Podcast of the Year.
No, please don't get me started.
I mean, I'm just saying the shit show that just took place to try to get Jesse headphones is reason enough to leave us off the ballot. I think.
Don't get me started, man.
I'm pretty confident that it's our lack of production value, our inability to pay attention to detail,
my inability to do a mic check.
Right.
Aren't we the only ones that can get views?
Aren't we the only ones with a 5-minute countdown to make sure that someone's headphones work?
I'm literally the only one who puts their headphones on with 5 minutes left. Everyone else just doesn't. I don't know why you just put your headphones on and talking to the mic, and then you know that it works.
Because maybe if we did that,
I'm the only one that does that, and then we scramble at when there's 5 seconds left.
Dissension amongst the crew.
This is
it's
bunch
all
of stuff
unraveled.
that nobody knows except for us.
It's all unraveled.
it's time for inmates to run the asylum.
Have you guys watched Silo yet?
No, I've
Why do you say
seen
yet
it.
as if we're definitely going to watch it?
Right.
It's like
you'll watch it. You'll definitely watch it.
I mean,
some
Jesse
point.
did put me on Severance.
Severance
Amazing
is
show.
unbelievable.
Amazing show.
Silo
First
is
season's
not
out.
quite Severance, but
New episodes every Friday.
How far along are you?
I'm caught up.
Wow, let's go.
We're caught up. I love this show.
Wow, let's go. I'm so excited that you like it.
I know. We have something to talk about now, just in case.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't talk about Magic the Gathering all the time.
Yeah. Jesse would be very happy. He asked what we were going to talk about today, and I was going to talk about his constructed deck.
Landon is my favorite person.
Thank you.
Outside of Ashley.
Okay, fair.
And
the 2 dogs.
The 2 dogs.
Those aren't people. Those are dogs.
3 egg a day, Mike.
I don't know, man. Actually, no. Mike put me out of Severance. Mike's still in there. I was gonna say Mike hasn't been talking much Magic with me, so
right.
I don't know.
Wait, what is 3 egg? What is that?
I miss Mike. I haven't talked
Mikey
to him in a
D.
while.
Mike's the greatest.
No, but what is 3 egg a day?
His name on WSOP was 3 egg a day, Mike.
Yeah.
Does he eat 3 eggs a day?
I hope not. He's a big boy. He needs at
A
least
little bit more than that.
12, 13.
13?
I think it was 10 eggs a day.
Wait, it was 4 eggs, 4 egg a day, Mike, because he was. I don't know how he was consuming them overall, but for a little while he was drinking them.
Oh yeah,
and he made a video. we all got endorsed for 1GG series, and we got some buy-ins, and we had to make videos and stuff. And so Mike just makes these videos where he's cracking 4 eggs into a glass, chugging it, and then being like, "What's up, guys? It's your boy, 4 egg a day, Mike," as if that was like an established thing. And then he'd be like, "Check out these GG tournaments."
This is very on brand for Landon. If he
with the eggs, yeah, of course.
Yeah, with the eggs.
It's been a minute. I know. I've been too happy. Don't look at me.
Are you still on the egg whites, Burke?
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
So why you're just trying to cut down on some fat? Or why are you just eating egg whites? Not the yolks.
I mean, the yolks are fine, but the majority of the protein of the egg is in the white, and the majority of the calorie in the egg is in the.
Because that's where the fat is.
Correct.
But that's also where most of the nutrients are, right?
Nah, it's debatable, but I drink bone broth, so it doesn't matter.
Are you on a cut?
I'm forever on a cut, Jesse.
Permacut?
Permacut.
Oof.
Till
hate to see it.
Till I start to see these record lows.
Do you separate your eggs?
God, no.
Manually?
Sounds so much
What a
work.
fool's errand. I mean, like, I think
You buy the carton stuff? What is it? What do we do here?
Yeah, you buy the carton stuff. Like, I don't understand people's aversion to, convenience. Like, oh man, you're drinking egg whites out of a carton. It's like, yeah. What do you think, that they were manufactured in a fucking lab? And honestly, if they
I don't know,
were,
anything that comes in a carton just always feels fake to me.
yeah, milk, it's fucking trash. Probably coming from space cows. I mean, it's just like, even if it
You were
were
against milk for a long time.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I've never been against milk. I'm not an anti-dairy person. It does lead to some inflammation, but I consume dairy properly for any Midwestern farm boy.
Midwestern.
I get in my proper. You understand?
Honestly, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for understanding your roots. I'm proud of you for acknowledging your roots.
He's dressed like a Midwestern.
Exactly.
I'm just leaning in.
He's got his flannel on. It's
I actually like that flannel a lot.
It's very comfy.
It's
And
very nice.
I decided that I'm the only one who's ever cold here, so I'll start to dress appropriately.
You look like you walked straight out of Cleveland.
Child of the
I'm ready to
corn.
go hunt, baby.
You want to hunt some squids?
Always. Always want to hunt squid. Jesse, it's a real pity they couldn't get you in the booth at PokerGo. I put on another fucking show, man.
Do you have a
that
good
would be
one?
good.
I saw a title for the podcast yesterday that I assume you did quite well.
Yeah. We played.
Was it the picture of you in the Squid Game outfit?
It was, yeah. Landon really enjoyed that one.
I think we all did, to be quite honest.
I was ready to fire our graphics guy, and they talked me out of it.
I think we need more graphics
This
like
one's
that.
based. I'm like, I don't think.
Although it is a fireable offense, it was really good.
Your head is much bigger than your body.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's true in real life. No, the opposite. My body's much bigger than my head.
I can't with these dogs.
Every day.
I'm sorry.
They're so good.
Sorry. I'll take a little
best.
picture of this and we can send it to the. This is unbelievable.
They really are truly in love with one another.
They're trained, They have trained to be menaces before it starts.
Right.
And then when it starts, they know that their tomfoolery must end.
That's right. That's a fantastic way of putting it. Well done, Landon.
Look at them.
Right.
Look how happy they are.
I sent it to you, Guap. I don't know if you can pull it up. It's in the regular podcast chat.
Like when WPT was running that thing, like tag your best friend for like a seat to the main. You use that picture right there.
Yeah.
Bolt and Pip would get seats for sure.
Best friends forever.
Look at them.
How much did we win, and what were the blinds?
Blinds were 1-2, same as at the win. $400 squid, but it was different. I'm not going to confuse everybody again, but basically there was a multiple for each additional squid that you won past one. I won.
Would you say it played bigger than the Squid Game that you guys were playing, or smaller?
I think slightly smaller.
Okay.
But it had the potential to play bigger because like the last hour we doubled the squid, which then led to us doubling the blinds.
I mean, the Squid Game you guys played at WPT was like, it was so massive.
It was huge.
Yeah, the blinds didn't really matter all that much.
The squid is always going to dictate the blinds. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that game was big, and it was a lineup that didn't fully understand how big it was playing, I think. So that made it more, I don't know if the right word is controllable, but like the people who were in the know, like me and Marchie, were kind of able to control how big the game was playing at any given moment. Like if we didn't have a squid, the game played a little bit small. No, a little bit smaller because we're just limping, trying to see every single flop, whatever. But when we have squids, then we're trying to max bonuses and we're applying max pressure to the people who don't. So basically, like when the other people had squids, they let off the gas and the game would tend to play smaller. When the other people didn't have squids, they were fighting or they knew they had to fight for pots and we just kept trying to deny them, which made the game play bigger. So it's like when you're kind of in the know in a lineup like that, you get to control just how much gamble is kind of infused into every pot. This lineup was different. Like Robo was in there. Senor Tilt from Monkey Tilt was in there. And who was the other kind of... Oh, Ivy.
Don't forget about him.
Yeah, he actually...
He played
a whole session.
Don't forget about Oaken.
Wow.
That motherfucking dude.
Perky tries to every day.
He's my whale.
How are you guys doing? Are you guys getting along a little better now?
They're best friends.
They are.
I try to get him into every lineup that I play. If that's not a true friend, I don't know what is. I'm just saying, like, with friends like me, you don't need enemies.
It's true.
But yeah, I would say that game had the potential to play a lot bigger because of just, guys like Robo who get it and also are sitting a million deep. Like, luckily the stream ended when it did, but I won 265. Ivy won like 250, maybe 200-ish. We were the only two winners of the stream.
Did you say Ivy punted?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought you were beginning to say it, and then I asked if you played the whole time.
Oh no, he played the whole time.
I was gonna be wildly shocked if Ivy punted.
I mean, he like, you can never tell with him. Like, he's really difficult to get a read on. Like, so he slept his first squid and didn't table his hand, and obviously we wouldn't give it to him. And he's like, I've never played this before. And we're like,
oh, because you have to table it.
Yeah. And Robo was just like giving him a really hard time of like, oh, it's your first prop that you've ever slept. How do you feel about it? And he just like got mad. Like, he just got mad and started playing really hard. And like, it was very clear that obviously he knew the rules. I mean, maybe he had forgotten because he probably doesn't play this format all that often. But it was abundantly clear that like it was a mistake made because he's paying zero fucking attention at any given time. And after about an hour of him losing the first 4 squids and then finally winning one and us denying him the squid, he just like locked in. And I don't mean locked in like played his hardest, but I mean like paid attention to detail. Like, was not going to sleep another prop, kind of locked in.
Yeah.
And shocker, he just fucking won. But he had a huge pot versus Hoken. He had aces versus ace king for like a 300k pot. So that's
what friends are for.
That'll do it. Yeah.
As someone who enjoys the like legendness of Ivy, that's a great little additional story to throw on the fire.
It was almost like not worth waking him up because it was abundantly clear after the first 3 rounds he was just okay with paying all the squids. Like, dude was not trying. But I also think
let sleeping dogs lie. I think.
The fact that he was like, no, now I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And crushed everyone. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. He probably would have woken up at some point too because the squids got progressively more expensive.
Yeah.
As people were like, I think the first round, everybody just won 1, so it's like the cheapest version of paying squid. So he's just like, oh, whatever, here's your $1,800 or whatever.
Maybe that was a strategy, wait for the stakes to go up. Everyone think he's sleeping.
No, the stake. I'm not saying the stakes went up. I'm just saying
the stakes didn't go up, but the squid went up.
I know what you mean though, because Helmut did that in the 300k.
Didn't you just say
I think it was the same year that you went deep in it.
I just said the cost of them went up because there were more multipliers.
Oh,
like the first round, everybody just won 1, so it's like the cheapest version.
Gotcha.
But you can't really control that kind of stuff. Wait, what did Helmuth do?
Did you final table the 300k with him?
Yeah.
So every last like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of each day of that tournament, he just went bananas.
Like, I remember him doing like some crazy shit with like 9 deuce or something.
Yeah, he just started 3-betting whenever he felt like it. Didn't matter what combo he had. And like Fedor and these guys are just like laying down like not like big hands,
like
but
Jack 10 off.
Yeah, well, no, like probably better than that even. They were folding hands that certainly like could peel from what I remember.
Yeah.
And then, you would just see that he had like all of this garbage and it was so bizarre. And then the next day he did the same thing and they were probably like, surely he's not doing it again. And he just did it every day until he made the final table.
It's wild.
He's an interesting human being.
Yeah, somehow in a 4-day event, I didn't play with him until the final table that time.
Yeah, in a field of like 40 too, which is crazy.
Yeah. Day 3, I got like the shit table draw. It was like Helmuth, Dan Shack, and somebody else at the other table. And then my table was like me, Bryn, what's the kid's, Rayner, Mercier, and one other top pro. Brutal. I was just like, okay, fuck me.
Reiner is subtly one of the funniest people in poker.
I could see him having like a very good, stone cold German sense of humor.
Yeah, he really does.
Just like, never breaks character,
He does not break character, no.
No, not at all. We started trolling each other one time in a WPT and became friends. And the next time I saw him, we were in Florida, and I'm playing the 3,500, and he's in the 100K. And he's just sending me hand updates from level 1 of my tournament about like me playing like a 12 big blind pot. Like, looks like you're doing real well over there, buddy.
Keep it going.
That's great. All right, let's get into some of the poker talk. Few things to catch up on, some flowers to give. Beriuzy had a monumental weekend. I meant to get this one yesterday. I don't know if you have it loaded or not, Guap, but he managed not one big score, not 2 big scores, but many big scores.
Many.
I have to actually find it myself at this point. But I think he had like a 400K weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Those scores were unlimited.
They really were.
They really, really were. Yeah, so it looks like he had 112K score, an 82K score, a 10K score, all while he forgot to walk his dog, apparently. And then additionally, he had this 57K score on top of that. So like just shy of 300K.
He did walk his dog, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The days that he didn't walk his dog.
I did not walk my dog and lost every all-in on stream as she watched in the back. Today, I walked her before the session and literally won everything. Run good confirmed. Okay.
There you go.
Hey, get your four-legged friends out there for a little...
4-3. Yeah, don't you do that to Bolt. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Bolt.
My apologies, Bolt.
Is there something going on right now, or is that just a regular Sunday?
I think it's just a normal Sunday on GG. You know, you just win everything. You won a 5K for 112K. One of 89. These are small fields. One of 66, another 5K for 82K. One of 25, a 9K, $840. How are there only 25 people in an $840 buy-in? What happened to online poker, man?
Oh, God. You should check out the Stars lobby one day.
I'd rather not.
I don't know if you played many tournaments back when we could all play on Stars.
Yeah, every Sunday.
Man, like, you remember the $500 on Sunday that would get 100K to first every?
The warm-up or the second chance?
I think it was the warm-up. I thought the warm-up was a 215. I thought it was called like Sunday 500.
Yeah, I might be conflating full to. Anyway.
Either way, it was like 100K up top every week. And now it gets like 15K.
Yeah.
For the winner. It's very sad.
I don't know how they do it. Man.
Well, now that Trump's in office, all he has to do is flip a switch, right?
Well,
turn online poker back on.
Maybe we'll leave it up to SCOTUS attorney Tom Goldstein. Oh man, I watched Doug's video yesterday, and the most tilting thing was that he kept calling him Goldstein the entire time.
I heard it. I was like,
how have you never heard of this guy? And what made you decide to go with the alternative pronunciation? Like, there's no way anybody calls this guy Goldstein.
Right.
What's the cartoon of the bears? Isn't it
Bernstein Bears?
Bernstein Bears? Yeah. Maybe that's why.
But it's spelled very differently.
Oh, okay, never
mind.
I
remember it as Bernstein.
Yeah, I remember it as Bernstein.
I thought it was Bernstein the whole time.
Well, now I don't know. Now I just know
it's Bernstein is the real one, but people think it's Bernstein.
Right. I think it's Bernstein. I just know there's a Mandela effect here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's like AI, right?
Yeah,
yes,
I think
that's the real one. It's this Bernstein, like Stain Bears.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every day we're going to talk about the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And Bernstein
it's a very interesting effect.
I like
one of my favorite effects.
My favorite. Speaking of effects.
Speaking of.
There you go.
Tilt.
Which one's which? Oh,
that's the right one.
That's the correct one.
Yes.
Man, that does not. Maybe it's because it's Berenstain, right? Like the additional E.
Yeah,
that's the right one.
Yeah.
It's not Bearstain.
Because that is not
the Bearstain.
No, we said
Bears.
Burn. We said Bernstein.
Bernstein Bears. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah. Man.
That's not how I remember it.
Not how I remember.
I mean, I mispronounce shit all the time, so like.
That's true.
What the hell do I know?
That's true. Also, today is the final table of event 1 of the PokerGo tour. Young Landon was in the mix yesterday. He unfortunately suffered an untimely death.
I passed away, but friends live on.
But guess what he did?
He swapped it to the top.
The kid doesn't miss. He doesn't fucking miss. How?
His 2 swaps at the final table.
Wait, you have 2?
Yay.
You sick puppy.
And Seward got 8th.
Yay. 3 for 3.
Wait. Oh my.
All 3 of his swaps cashed.
Look, percentage-wise, what do you think you're up in swaps?
I don't know. It's close.
The best part is like
I got second in WPT for 600 and I had to pay out 20%.
Here's the best part of Landon's swaps.
Or in
let me talk. Here's the best part of let me talk. Here's the best part of his swaps. Specifically at PokerGo. Not so much with WPTs, but specifically PokerGo. Landon swaps with a bunch of people in event 1. Those people then go on to win. Then event 2 rolls around and Landon's like, yo, you want to swap? And they do a little bit of accounting. They're like, all I do is pay this motherfucking kid. No, swaps off. Landon then goes on to get second.
Right.
And pays nobody.
So swaps back on.
Now swaps back on because they think he can win again. And he just bricks the next 10.
That's the way.
You're a genius.
This kid has a fucking recipe, man.
You're a
It's
fucking
unbelievable.
genius.
That's gone when there's series swaps,
Smart.
They've caught on.
They have caught on. That's
They've
sharp.
caught on.
It cuts both ways, This might be the one that you just don't do all that hot in.
It might be.
I hope you don't. I'd rather pay out personally, as
Me too.
somebody who's financially invested. Would be nice.
So when I swap, you win.
No, I understand how it works.
This is more you than me.
No, I'd
Swaps
rather.
on the stake?
I'd rather you were just winning the whole thing.
I would rather win the whole thing too.
So the final 6 come in with
7.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Final 7 come in. My apologies. The stream starts at 4 p.m. Eastern today, 1 p.m. Pacific. So in a little while, Andrew Lichtenberger, Lucky Chewy leads just ahead of Jordan Redon.
John Reardon.
John Reardon? Where did I get Jordan from? I just
Where
smashed
you
his
got
whole
Jordan
name together.
from?
I smashed his whole name together.
Jordan Redon.
I smashed his name together. It's fine. 1.56 million. Shulman has 1.53, so they basically have like equal stacks. Pads 1.17. Matthew McEwen 865k inside L, 800k. Dennis Barreras has 650 to round out the bottom. Can't tell what the blinds are going to be. I want
to say it's going to be 30k or 40k big blind, so
okay.
15, 30.
So everybody's pretty deep.
Yeah.
All things considered, that's kind of shocking.
30-minute levels, it'll go fast.
Yeah, how is everybody so deep with a turbo?
I think because it started, everyone was just all in.
Right.
A lot.
Right.
So then if you keep winning the all-ins, people lose, and then you get to 7.
I have to tell you personally, I feel fantastic about my decision to not play this.
Why?
You want the honest truth?
Yes, always.
Outside of the fact that I don't think I'm a very good tournament player? Like, just strictly from a gambling perspective, like, why would you play this, Berkey? Oh, because I want to gamble a little bit.
30-minute levels, it goes fast.
Yeah. So outside of the gambling perspective, it wasn't enough up top. I don't. If I'm going to get lucky, I don't want to get lucky for a day in Bobby's room.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Because getting lucky is hard. So if I waste it, I want to waste it on a Squid Game for like 400.
Right.
Yeah. You should wait till the 10K at the end of the series.
It's only going to be double. These fields won't be big, I don't think. And that's not a slight against the series or anything like that.
It will only be double.
Just timing wise and everything else. Like, I think this is a good indication. I offered Conrad the bet throughout the entire series of 5Ks. Where I have under, what was the line we said?
150.
Oh my
150?
gosh, you ravaged him on this bet. 150 is insane.
Yeah,
I just
I'll
think-
even bump it down to my original 137.
I believe that there is 15 people that are coming to play these things, if not more.
Okay, well that doesn't all go to first. I'll give you over 137
Higher.
for the rest of the
You
series.
said 133.
Oh, well, don't nitpick me, Jesus.
Well, fuck
Christ.
you. I already lost by $1 billion.
Okay, how many 5Ks are left, Landon?
So the kickoff is from the 20th to 25th, and the last event on Friday is a 10K.
All right, so I want Thursday.
Wait, so it's just this
20th
week?
to 25th. So
Wednesday
is
or
Saturday the last
Thursday?
day or no? That makes it Friday the last day, right?
No, Saturday.
There's 5 events.
The 25th is Saturday.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Oh, okay. So I want you.
I want to say it's Friday's the last event, and then Saturday's that stream.
Okay, so 4 5Ks and a 10K.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'll do for you, Conrad. 25 push-ups per event moving forward, where you can either win the next 3. Sorry, 33 push-ups. So you can either win the next 3 and we'll be even, or...
I ought to lose today, though.
Yeah, wait, why?
Because nobody's back yet. I'm looking at people's Instagrams, and they're fucking still in Florida. The people that I am absolutely praying come to the PokerGo studio.
All right, let me do you a favor and just not let you bet then.
Dude,
I'm out.
150 is an absurd number.
130 is an absurd
130 is also an absurd number.
Well, but what I was judging it off of and why I said I didn't care to play these, I was like, the last 5K I played, I got second. Like, the last 5K turbo I played, I got second. It was in Florida. And Conrad's like, yeah, then you should play. I go, you want to know what was different? Is
Your attitude.
Second place in that one was 180K.
And that's actually where everybody I was praying, they're all playing that 5K today.
I don't think you understand that the majority of the people that played that 5K in Florida live in Florida on a retiree's budget somewhere in the middle
They're
of
not
Fort
coming
Lauderdale.
to
They ain't
Vegas
coming
to
here,
play in the
bro.
studio.
They ain't coming to fucking Vegas to
No.
play in the studio.
Right.
You think
I'm
fucking...
just talking
what-
about all my
what does
shit
it-
reg colleagues.
What does first place have to be for you to get interested? 500K?
To first?
Yeah.
No, less than that for 5K.
I mean, but you're in general.
I mean, you're in the right ballpark in the sense that, like, I think I would prefer big field. Like, I want to just be able to hide.
But then if it's a big field,
then
if it's a big field, it's a bigger commitment and longer, right?
2 days versus 3 days, whatever.
Berkey, the next time you get lucky in a big field tournament, I hope you get fucking 5th. Just so you can get the same amount that this tournament has up top. I'm going to save my luck for a bigger field, and then he gets fucking 5th. That's all I have to say.
It's super.
I'm out.
It's super easy. I always get 5th when I final table.
I'm 5th through 3rd.
I'm 3rd through 5th. Like, lock it in. For somebody who doesn't know ICM, I'm really fucking good at finishing middle of the pack, regardless of what stack I come in with.
That's actually kind of frustrating when you're just playing for the win and you just happen to get 3rd through 5th anyways.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
You're like, I'm costing myself dollars to try to get the trophy here,
right?
And I somehow still get the
matter. Yeah. You lose a couple flips and then we move on. But yeah, should be an exciting final table. This is Pads' first attempt at the studios. Go 1 for 1, no big deal. Nice little final table to ravage. So the Instagram content should be off the hook. The Telegram chat, CCC. I don't even remember what it stands for, but we're out there. We're rocking the C. We got the C's up.
Triple C.
The triple C's.
Get your C's in the air.
Pads turning into a regular Las Vegan.
Las Vegan.
Yeah. I honestly, like, respect to these guys. I know I say this all the time and it sounds like I'm being critical. I'm not. It's more that, like, I struggle to see the vision over the path of playing like these types of buy-ins for a living. This just feels so small to me for a 2-day commitment when you're guys like Shulman, Chewy, Pads, Seidel. Like, these guys are playing 100Ks. You know what I mean? And, like, this isn't even a makeup eater at that point. It's like, I just don't know where the bottom line comes from, I guess.
Maybe it's not all about money.
Yeah, no, it's, especially if you're a tournament player, it's got to be about money.
I don't think so, man. I think these guys just
cash players are the ones that get to
love the game.
Cash players are the ones that, like, get to take a flyer and just say, like, all right, I'm going to do something pretty low EV today because I'm going to get my 2,000 hours in this year anyway.
Yeah.
So,
what's
like,
going on right now else that they could play instead of this?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just it, right? Just volume is king.
Yeah,
I mean, Florida.
Is king and if you just enjoy it so much that you're like, I'm going to play. The studio's awesome. It's a fun place to play. I don't care what the buy-in is or what the first place is. It's going to be an enjoyable event for me, so I'm going to play it.
I don't think.
Also, you just, if you're making, like, let's say you're one of the best players in the field, you're making 15 to 20%. You could forego it, right? But, like, if you think you fire a bullet and a half on average, and you're lucky Chewy and you're like, I don't have a lot going on today, like, you're gonna walk down there and make $1,000 in EV.
Yeah,
like, it's. I understand what you're saying. Like, it's not. It's very small compared to some of the stakes that they're playing. But it's like you also, you get to play like a smaller variance situation where you're like printing a little bit of money and.
Yeah, I guess I think of it maybe incorrectly where it's like none of these guys would ever fire. Actually, that's probably not even true. I was gonna say none of them would fire like the 1600 MSPT at the Venetian, where first is like 200. But maybe they do. Maybe they do. They might just be firing it all.
I could see Chewy in there for sure.
Yeah.
He I think there's nothing holding him back from playing something like that if he thinks it'll be fun. And I know exactly what you mean, because these small field 5Ks have a really capped ROI.
Yeah.
But those 1600s, the best player in that field might be making an ROI much higher than we all think.
Yeah, it might be like 3 or 4x what you could do in these small fields.
It might be more. It might be like 150%.
Right.
Like these are big fields, and there's a lot of actual fish in them, whereas like the 5K fish are like, oh, that guy picked the wrong size, or that combo wasn't a good check raise.
Yeah. Guys just out here yeeting it with the bottom pair backdoor. Like, fucking grow up, buddy, Jesus Christ. I honestly, like, I'm asking from a very inquisitive point of view. I'm not trying to soapbox.
I guess you just play it in the sense of I don't know if it's
like, by comparison, I'm off today, right? And I'll probably have like 3 days off this week. You would never catch me in a 5-10 game. Like, not in a million fucking years would I spend 5 hours at a time 5-10 game.
Maybe you come down to the studio, play the 5K.
No, but like I was saying to Brian, I could, if I wanted to do something low or negative EV for the day because I feel like just burning some time, I could, because I don't have a volume issue, right, with cash. And maybe that's what this all roots back to.
Like, you just have to play when these.
Yeah, it's just like you're only going to get to play like X amount of buy-ins greater than 5K anyway. Right. So maybe you just have to put in the work.
Maybe you just go and you show up and you hope, a little bit of hopium, that it's your sun run year and you get to make a lot of money. And if you don't, that's kind of okay too.
Yeah.
If you keep playing poker, because 1 year, if you play long enough, you get your sun run year. But maybe that's delusional.
I also think it's not a good comparison. Like, I don't think you can compare just going down to like the Bellagio or somewhere and playing 510 as playing a streamed, like, televised event in the PokerGo studio, regardless of the buy-in.
Why? For
that reason. For the reason of it just being just like a random, like, this isn't like,
we don't care about that.
Like if there was a 5K every single day, with this kind of type of field, just randomly in Vegas, I don't think you'd see these guys playing it like then it's like not.
Oh, I do. You know if I mean? There was no conflict of interest,
I think they would play it every day.
I think they would play it every day unless there was.
I think they would actually be happy for that to happen. I think if you told me every day, like for this year, there was that 5K with, call it 100 runners. I would be pretty happy to play that every day.
Yeah.
And just feel like I'm making some amount of money and just like showing up and being like, okay, let's try to play good poker today, and maybe they pick me.
Yeah.
Right, but you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem.
Well, that brings me back. I think like what you're kind of stumbling into is like that would make me want to pick a different career. Like that would make me be like, oh, I don't think this is for me.
Well, it just depends, right? Because some days you would go play the tournament, and then other days you'd be like, like I don't want to play today, or I'd rather study, or I'd rather take some time off or travel to somewhere else and play.
But you could model it to know exactly how many bullets you're going to fire over the course of the year and what the expectation is of that, give or take 1 to 3 standard deviations. So it's like you're going to know what your best run is, you're going to know what your worst run is, you're going to know what your average run is. And I think when you see those numbers being rather pedestrian, it becomes really difficult to negotiate with yourself that like this is the path forward. Well, but I think what MTTs do really well is there's variable value throughout the course of the year. So you have this sliding scale of buy-ins that will range from like 1K all the way to like 250K. And the softness of these fields will also range all the way from like wiffle ball to the majors. And you're just constantly having to make decisions of what event is best, whereas my biggest and it's all theoretical. It's never really realized, right? It's all unrealized gains. So you never actually map out the best run, worst run in a real clear way. You know, you just kind of have like, oh, I play an ABI of this, and it seems uncapped at the top if I rip off a big one.
Yeah, it's weird just because, well, I guess there's also a couple points. Like there is the like no memes intended, like the swap side of it all too, where you think you're winning some percent and then you feel like you're swapping with people that have around the same ROI as you.
Yeah, but that just tightens your standard deviations.
Yes.
Right. So now your best run, worst run get a lot closer to the average run.
Which is important if you're trying to make money year over year and like decrease variance.
Right, but if we did that model of like, say you're going to play 255 Ks that are 100-person fields over the course of a year, and you're making on average like $1,000 per, that means that the average is going to be 250K, and the more that you're swapping and stuff like that, the less standard deviations away from that you'll feel. So your worst run will be
a year roughly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But like, I think if you just
well, you also like call it sprinkle in some of the softer stuff as well. And then the series,
but I'm just saying like,
you don't make $1 million, you know.
I'm just saying let's stick with one where we can actually model it and have vision over it. In order to have that sort of ROI in a 100-person 5K, you have to be one of the best players in the field. So now you're selling, like, if you were to take a Seth Davies and say, like, this is all you're able to do for a year, I think it would be a tough sell for him. But it's because he's both achieved greater success and also recognizes that there's a whole world outside of these 5Ks. It might be an easier sell to somebody like you, where you might feel a little bit less established and you haven't had this year of consistency yet. But I don't think that anybody who's capable of that would do it year over year over year over year, right? Because that to me would just be the guy who's beating 2.5 for $80K a year and says, I don't ever want to move up stakes.
Well, can I throw something in there? I think there's a couple things going on here. Like one, the example that we're using, like these 5K PokerGos, is the harshest example for what you're talking about because,
of course,
yeah, it's like the lowest end buy-in, but it's almost the same field composition. Yeah. So it's like you're gonna have, and you know this really well. Historically, like like if you were beating the 10Ks and higher, like the 5Ks, you would have this really great ROI, and it'd be worth sitting down because you're making like 2,500 every time you sit down or more.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that guys like Chewy or Shulman or whoever are in those and also playing the 100Ks means probably two things, but at least one of the two. If they're just grinding tournaments, they got into it for the glory in the first place. So there is more to be had than just the ROI from it. The other thing is like they do have to reduce variance to some extent, and they're just not going to have all of themselves in the biggest buy-ins, right?
So like if you're playing an ABI of 5K, you get to have 100% of yourself and then swap some in these, as opposed to playing like a 25K where you only have a quarter of yourself.
Yeah, and if you have a quarter of yourself, you actually might have a very similar dollar ROI because your ROI will be higher percentage-wise in the 5K,
right?
By default, but so yeah, I mean, there are some elements as to why like you see those guys going down there, but I do think part of it is just like if you got into tournaments as the thing that you grind, it's almost exclusively for the glory, because almost every other it's one of two things. It's either for the glory of tournaments, or you just can't at this point. Like the landscape for cash games has changed so much, and you can't get into certain cash games or don't want to play that game. Like Osmus was here last week. He's like a great example. Like he just doesn't care to play the political game of cash games anymore, and so he exclusively plays tournaments.
Right.
But mostly, I think people get into playing tournaments for a living because they like the glory. Because I really feel like that's like the one thing. That's like if you do like a pros cons list between cash games and tournaments, the main thing on the pro list is like it feels really, really good when you win a tournament.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying. Like if that is true, if there is an element of them being in for the glory, then they're gonna play at the PokerGo studio way more
exactly
often
yeah
than they would play if it was just a random 5K somewhere, Venetian or something.
Maybe glory isn't the right word. Maybe it's more like
you probably
prestige.
Wouldn't catch Shulman there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe it's more like the prestige aspect of it. Right, because like Go's
glory,
gonna be
prestige. I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Kind of, but not exactly. Like Triton and Go, those events are gonna come with like a lot heavier level of prestige. Obviously, a lot
there's a competition element too, right?
Right.
Like you're playing with a lot, like you said, a lot of these better players are there, so you're competing with the best, and that's what you want to do.
I think if Venetian ran a 5K and had comparable numbers, I think that people would go play.
If they had comparable numbers.
Yeah.
Right, but like they're unlikely to. I think that's
because of the stream aspect.
I think the prestige aspect of it. Yeah.
I think they ran one over there the summer, not this past year.
Well, summer's different.
Yeah,
the year before.
Yeah, summer's different. That was also a WPT. Yeah, it was. 100%. Because I played it.
How'd you do?
Not well, but they took a video of me. Yeah,
so you got a little glory there.
A little bit,
in the form of a video.
That's what he was there for.
No, it wasn't. I really do find it fascinating because I think Jesse's points are really well stated, and I also think that if you polled the vast majority of the people who are frequenting these events, glory would be like very low on their list of priorities, or prestige, or maybe if you worded it as prestige, it would be higher, but if you worded it as like glory or acknowledgement, it would be much lower. But it's really hard not to, from the outside looking in, kind of view it that way. Not saying that there aren't a ton of hurdles and problems with trying to pursue the cash path as well. And maybe this just all comes down to like poker is a little bit more insulated than it's ever been. But man, once you steer heavy into a side, it starts to feel very hard to sell the other side. Like MTTs are a lot tougher of a sell now than they were to me 5 years ago.
I think that's true if you're talking about the smaller field high rollers, because I do think the open field mains are still very, very good.
Yeah, but
It's just hard to make
but they're all reducing so much. Like there's a bigger gap between the private stuff, not private stuff, but like the more insulated crowd of the Go and Triton and stuff like that versus the open fields. Like open field main events used to get as high as like 3,200s pretty regularly, 3,500s pretty regularly, right?
As in not total entries, you're saying?
No. Sorry, buy-in.
Right. You're saying those are rarer now.
Much rarer. And there's like no 5Ks outside of NAPT. There's like no 10Ks any longer. LAPC is basically withered down to nothing. Bay 101 is gone. Legends is gone. The Thunder Valley one, I don't believe is a WPT any longer.
They do have one WPT.
The one coming up?
Yeah, I went to it last year.
Yeah, this one's a circuit coming up.
Okay.
It's part of that California swing.
though.
No, the California swing's gone. It's been long gone.
But I mean,
That
it's
was the
around
one-
the same time as
Yeah, it
those
was right
tournaments.
after LA, or what used to be Bay
Yeah.
101. That
But
was the one.
it still exists as the Thunder Valley WPT.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was still a WPT event.
But I think Bay 101 still happens around the same time, but isn't a WPT. And I don't know if LAPC's not, right?
Bay
I
101
believe.
didn't operate for a couple of years, and then I think this past year they ran a series not affiliated to WPT.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they did the whole bounty
I think it
thing
was
again or not.
I think it was a smaller buy-in A, and then I also saw people on Twitter adding the PokerGo manager about upcoming schedule for that coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Savage for that tournament going, because I feel like he's really doing some work out there to keep
Right.
that tournament alive. That was kind of his baby.
I mean,
Lives out there. And
yeah, that event was like insanely popular.
yeah.
Amongst the locals especially. And we saw like a lot of legends kind of come out of that area, like Taylor and a few others. But yeah, like just in general, your point is very correct in that these open field mains are very soft, but they're shifting way more into the mid stakes tours now, right? The circuits, the primes, the MSPTs, and the things of that sort, the run goods. And all
And
of
those
that
numbers are still very, very high for the price that they're at. Like, I think I saw there was like a circuit main 1600 where first was 300K.
Yeah, that's
Like,
huge.
It's
Huge.
So yeah, maybe that number of 3,500 is now decreased to, if you want to average it out, like 2,200 or whatever. But again, there's a lot of variance in those two, where people have much different years depending on whether they win the all-in or not when there's 3 tables left or whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Yeah.
to not be a survivor.
Yeah, I guess like at the boots on the ground level, the mid stakes tours, perhaps the dream is still very much alive.
The dream is alive, but if you
The problem to me is that
if you can like complete the dream or
right, but
convert
like the
dream,
next step in the dream then is kind of what you're living.
yeah, the higher stakes stuff, trying to shot take and
Yeah.
see how that goes.
Just trying to
Swap your way to the top.
trying
man.
to dick measure
Swap
with a
to
bunch
the
of other
top.
guys who are really
Yep.
good. Who's got
You
the
make
biggest
it
wang?
seem very gloomy.
I can't help it. It's just my nature because like I
Don't do this to Landon again.
No, I'm
He's
fine.
just getting over the last time you did this to him.
I just think
Now-
about it from the standpoint of like if I were to start tomorrow with a polished skill set, what would I want to do? And it
Well, we
strikes
know
me as
what
very
you wanted to do.
no. It's not. It's not based off of like I enjoy one game format versus
Right.
the other. It's more so just like
What's more sustainable? What's more?
well, what can get me out of poker too, right? Like which one actually has a path to exit. And unless you're taking like massive shots on MTTs, it seems really fucking hard to accumulate enough money.
Yeah.
You got to have like a big chunk during the sun run, you know?
Man, you just come from your privileged Bobby's room take. You're like, oh, I can just sun run, win a couple 100,000, win a milli over, God knows, 2 months or something along those lines.
Well,
hey
Not
he
gr-
earned that.
Yeah,
Not grinding in the
that's what high
streets.
stakes is. That's the whole point. Like
He's been around poker for like 25 years.
But if you were going to restart,
that's my point is that there isn't a direct corollary to that. Like there isn't like a soft 25K tour that I could just fire hard on and make 7 figures that I get to pocket without having to piece out.
You got
to
to
a bunch
pretend
of
to
people.
be a startup investor and get into some private games.
Well, no, but
Race car driver.
I'm saying like there isn't a tournament corollary.
Hunter.
Okay.
There isn't a tournament parallel is the point that I'm making.
I get what you're saying now.
In contrast to Conrad.
It's either you grind out the win rate playing cash, or you hope to receive bounties from the heavens in tournaments.
Right, but also just have a big enough piece.
Have you guys ever,
Yes.
excuse me, have you guys ever played around with like PokerDope.com or any of
Tons.
those? Yeah, but specifically mapped out a live tournament year and then run like, 10 of those, right? Or 15 of those.
Usually it's
And
20, but yeah.
God.
Sure, like let's do 20, but you have to do one at a time, and then for each year, you have to factor in taxes and see if you're actually profitable at certain ROIs. Because I bet it like a 15% or below ROI, you're probably getting crushed by taxes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Man, it's weird, right? Because for these mains, even though we say there's a lot of variance kind of thing, you see the same people run deep like year over year,
Not
like
year
event
over
over
year.
event. Like
No, not year over year. You see pockets of sun runs.
Bro, what do you think why do you think the same 10 guys sit at the final table of World Series of
Every
Poker?
single year.
they're not playing with each other, but they ain't playing against each other either.
I mean, if you factor in taxes, you just pretty much take off like 20 to 25% of like what your ROI is, right?
Well, yeah, but if you have a losing year and then a winning year,
Right.
you end up. So let's say you win 100K first year and lose 100K the
You don't
second
get
year.
that rebate back.
Yeah, you're down money across
Yeah,
those 2 years.
that's
You
true.
can have a massively winning year and then a somewhat losing year and still
Yeah.
lose money
No,
across the 2 years.
That's a good point.
And that is something that
Which is bullshit. They should you shouldn't have to why does it it's fixed that if I win this time I have to pay. If I lose this time I don't get a rebate.
because the U.S.
Or I don't have
government
to,
isn't worried about poker players.
I'm not positive.
I'm
not. I was gonna say I'm not positive if you if you become an S corp, I think you might be able to have carryover, but I'm not entirely sure.
There's a certain law too, I think with capital gains in a way where if you take a loss, say you pay and then the next year you take a loss, then I think the following year you can write those losses off or onto your
One carryover,
onto your tax bill.
You know what else you can do?
Year.
Sorry to interrupt you.
you could just win.
You got me excited. There were players who did this after they final tabled the main, and this was really smart. There are tournaments where you can buy in before the next year starts.
So just
and call that a loss, and then if you win in the tournament, because it's
because you spent the money.
Yeah, and I assume that works because I'm pretty sure the guys who are doing that went to Russ Fox. I know he's like a big nit as far as accountants go, which is probably a good thing to have an accountant.
Right.
But yeah, they were, and don't quote me on Russ Fox because I might be wrong, but somebody's accountant was, and I know if you guys were doing this, they were advocating, like PCA, you could buy into the 100K, and then that's a lot of losses to write off for that year, and then you just, if you're a winner in the 100K, you could sell pieces forward or whatever. What's that?
And then you just unregister.
Yeah, that might
That
fall under some sort of fraud.
Man.
That's fraud.
Isn't that literally what McKeon did?
McKeon, I'm pretty sure. I didn't want to
He got second in it.
Yeah, he's a sicko.
Yeah,
he registered and then won more money, which is
think-
more
More money, more
taxes.
problems.
I mean, it would make sense because I just know right after he won the main, he got second in that 100K. So it just would make sense that he fired him for that reason.
Imagine doing more in a year after winning the main. You win the main for that much money, and you somehow win something else for some amount of money. You've done enough, you're good for the next couple of years.
And I'm not saying McKeon was the guy who did the tax thing, but between the final table of the main and playing out or making the final table and playing out the final table, he won a win main event.
Oh, that's right.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Yes.
he won 200K and a 1600.
Yeah.
What a goat.
He's insane.
He's the best.
He's one of the sickest of
He's
all
my
time.
favorite. He's the only person that calls me a pussy in this world. I fucking love it. It's fucking great.
Bro, the number of mean stuff that he said to me and 100% calls me a friend,
I fucking
is more
love
than
it.
anyone who doesn't like me has ever said. He's a good troll.
My favorite
love it.
McKeon memory was during the November 9 when they were on their break or whatever. It must have been August, maybe early September. Trevor Pope and a bunch of other guys, like Seth Berger and a few others, organized this game of softball. at Sunset Park. So like, I don't know, 20 of us show up, co-ed, nothing super competitive. Everybody's just, bad, obviously. And Joe comes up to the bat and he hits a ball between like short and third, and he's trying to leg it out. And this was when he was bigger, like right before the main event, So he tries to leg out this infield single. I can't remember I think he was out. Pretty sure he was out. And I just see him turn towards the dugout, hands on his knees, and just starts dry heaving right there on the field. This is inning 1. Like, we just got started, guys. Staggered his way over to the dugout. I'm like, let's go, champ. What's going on? He was done. He was cooked for the day. That was the cardio preparation that he needed to go and bring it home on the main stage.
Nice insight into the heart of McKeon.
Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah, he wanted that single, man.
There's nothing on the line except pride. And
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Almost blew out an ACL.
Love this.
That's sick.
All right, moving away from playing poker and a little bit into some other accolades. The nominees for the 6th annual Global Poker Awards were finalized today. Caitlin Comiskey and Marley Sprague leading the nominees coming in. I think that they have 3 each, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 4. Caitlin has 2 prior wins, and I believe Marley has 1. And they're each nominated for 3 awards here. So just going through the categories really quickly. Some of them have already been announced as winners. Dan Coleman won Player of the Year, GPI Player of the Year. Han Feng won GPI Mid-Major Player of the Year. Cherish Andrews won Female Player of the Year. Jesse Lonis has won most weeks at GPI number 1. The PokerGo Tour PGT Player of the Year, obviously, Jeremy Osmus. Why don't you have a picture?
Wait a minute.
No
the
picture.
GPI gives a year for PokerGo Player of the Year?
I guess so.
That seems new.
No, I think they've always been partnered with PokerGo.
What's the category for that? It's like Jeremy and 3 guys who aren't going to win because they weren't number 1 on the ranking.
Well, this is already announced. It's not a category. He just won it.
Mm-hmm. It's like Jeremy's up against the number 2 Player of the Year, the number 3 Player of the Year.
Right.
And the winner is.
And here we are, Jeremy.
This is what I see, though, when I watch stuff like this. Like,
I mean, it's hard to take award shows seriously, but like I was saying in pre-production,
look at this picture. Sorry to interrupt you.
Good-looking guy.
Oh, my God.
Good-looking guy.
What is an animal?
What is that? What is he holding?
That's the Player of the Year trophy for PGT.
It's quite unfortunate,
It's like what is it?
It's quite
That's something really cool that we don't even know about.
Like a gold circle?
Yeah, you could get one if you'd start winning these fucking 5Ks.
No, I need more than that.
Well, it's a start.
Definitely need more than that.
It's like Squid. If you win the first one, then you go for the bonus.
Right. That's what they do with the series, yeah.
Yeah, so if you start to do well in this series, then, maybe we get you in the Go studio.
Yeah, get in the studio.
There you go.
Get in the stew.
All right, getting into the things that actually matter from On the Felt Play. GPI Breakout Player of the Year, the 4 finalists are Boris Angelov, Mark Egbert, Rana, not going to make an attempt here, Rania
Nasruddin.
There we go, Nasruddin. Wow, so good with this. And then Noel Rodriguez. Noel, I've been playing with for a while. I mean, he's definitely my pick to click in this one. Cash
He's a
guy,
gangster.
converted over. I think he might be from the Bay Area.
He is.
Yeah, I initially played with him in Reno. It's had to be like fucking 7 years ago. It's so weird to see. Like Rania's first cash is like 2008. Like, what are we breaking out of?
Where's Nick Seward?
Yeah, where is
Nick Seward?
Timestamp guy got robbed here. Bad.
1.4 million in cashes.
I don't know what the qualifications are.
And he's actually closer to a breakout year too.
I'm going to scratch my head and just say a lot of people got snubbed here. I don't want to say anything more.
To be fair,
I'm just going to move on.
To be fair, Seward wasn't even on the initial list of...
Which is a fucking...
I assume
maybe because he's affiliated with us.
No, I assume that...
It's absurd.
I assume that they didn't meet the criteria. Because like Landon, Seward, and Bex, I think all easily should be finalists in this category.
That's hilarious, but true,
At least on the ballot. But just quickly looking at what the qualifications were, you had to be outside the GPI top 100 prior to last year.
Top 100 or 300?
Oh, maybe it was the 300.
I think it was 300.
Top 300, yeah.
Which all three of us were. This is not to make the case for us three, but just,
Were you?
I was not.
You were inside the 300.
I was not in the top. I was not in the 300 is what I'm saying. Like, none of us were in the 300.
Really?
I believe that to be the case.
I assume that that's what disqualified you guys. At some point in your careers, and granted, you and Seward have only been playing for 2 years on Hendon Mob, but like JBax has like scores going back like 7 years or something like that.
Top
like
300, it's a rolling system.
Well, here's the bigger issue. If what I'm saying is true, where like last year you guys broke into the top 300. Let's say you and Seward broke the top 300 last year because he had like $500,000 in cashes. I think you might have had like 350 or something like that.
Maybe.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's say that you guys broke into the top 300 last year. Then you should have been on the list last year. But neither of you would have won, nor should you have last year.
There was one Sam Laskowitz in our
Sam
way.
Laskowitz probably deserved it, but you know, Jans came out of.
Yeah, he broke out on the scene after 15 years of beating everybody online at the highest stake.
To be fair,
you can just
he
thank
didn't play
Kessler.
live prior, and he just came onto the scene and won a 250K or 500K, whatever.
This was all fueled by Kessler.
Yeah, just thank Kessler.
This was all
They
Kessler's
should
fault.
give Breakout Player of the Year to Lena.
Right.
That
yes.
would be amazing.
Wow.
Actually, yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that would demonstrate how broken the system would be.
Exactly, yeah, that'd be beautiful.
To be fair, they gave it to Jans last year, so that should have already demonstrated how broken the system was. And it clearly did not. But yeah, I think, like, look, to make a strong case for you, the Bexman and Timestamp Bro, all three of you had well into 7 figures worth of cashes this year, having never had prior 7-figure cashes. And for you and Seward, you guys only had one other, maybe I think you had 2 years.
Yeah,
of
my
Hendon
first
Mob.
cash was 2020, which was the Venetian win.
Right. And then like 2021 and 22 were like
Kind of
non-existent.
Yeah.
You basically didn't play.
I retired for a year and a half when hiking.
Would be nice. I would suggest maybe going back into like what the qualifications are here, because like, you know, I've known Rania on the scene forever. Her first cash dates back to like 2008. And I remember 2 years ago, somebody won it with like not a lot of cashes. Who won it the year before?
Jordison?
Yeah, Angela.
She had like 600K that year.
Yeah, which was a breakout year for her, and it was fantastic. I didn't think anybody deserved it more, to be quite honest. But also, she had been on the scene for quite some period of time. So it's like, I don't know, just maybe a confusing title.
Yeah, it just feels odd. I mean, if I were to pick between, like, if the nominees
Because like
were...
I would have just nominated oh my god, how am I forgetting his name? The Aussie. He's the best. The best tournament player in the world. Adama. Yeah, I would have just nominated him. Breakout Player of the Year.
Right. I just
Just
think
had 10
if
million in cashes.
it was between me, Becker, and Seward, I would vote for Seward for sure.
Hey,
you know?
crushed.
Yeah. Crushed.
Yeah, I mean,
won
like,
a bracelet.
Won a bracelet, did all the things.
he
He
ticked
won a
off-
bracelet. He won back-to-back tournaments in fucking Florida. He
Yeah.
did so
Right.
much. It is absurd. I'm not going to get started because I have a lot of things I would say. I'm
Calm
going
down
to
over
keep
there,
my
Conrad.
mouth shut for the rest of the show.
Yeah. No,
you're
Enjoy,
not.
guys.
No,
It's
you're
also
not.
Surprised you're
why
not getting
awards-
emotional about this, Conrad. It feels like
I think the bracelet is a big deal because
He
like,
checked a lot of boxes.
Because winning like not just winning a bracelet, but winning a bracelet, then backing it up with all the other scores, makes it so much better.
He definitely checked a lot of boxes off this year. I mean, honestly, God bless the kid to knock off that many like career milestones year one or year two, I guess officially.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, he can cry his eyes out with a bunch of $100 bills. He'll be fine.
Look, nobody except for maybe our baby in the corner over there is getting to.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
You're goddamn right.
He's under the microphone. Look at this. Look at this shot.
he's just shaking his head.
Don't worry, I'll bring him back in. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I'll bring him back in. All right, the next category is Best Final Table Performance. I didn't used to like this category, but this year's nominees like make me actually...
if you get some good final tables, then all of a sudden...
No, that's the thing.
What do we got?
That's the thing is like, that's why I didn't like it, because it's like this notion of performance. Like you did something so performative at your final table, you deserve. That's not why I like this category this year. I like this category this year because there's a bit of a story attached to each one of these wins.
Right.
Right. And that to me is very compelling.
Yeah.
Barney Boatman coming from the fucking rafters and winning EPT Paris, the biggest EPT that's run in who knows how long, and doing it in such like perfect fashion. It's really, really, really hard not to want to see him win this. However, Daniel, coming off of an 11-year drought of winning a bracelet and winning the PPC, is also a story that like is really, really hard to deny. And then, of course, Steven and Scott, they had massive years, or massive scores, I should say. Scott, kind of the everyman. It's really difficult not to root for him. His exit interview from the World Championship was incredible. What are you going to do with the money? I don't know. Probably get some more Bud Light. Who knows? And Steven's just been winning everything under the sun. So this is kind of a tip of the cap to both of them, where they won pretty major events. And you can kind of like put them in here, but like this category comes down to Boatman and Negreanu. I think it's really difficult for it not to.
Yeah, it's hard. If I was a betting man, which I'm not for the GPIs,
right?
I'd bet on DNegs.
Yeah,
it's hard to not give that one.
Well, you have to remember who's doing the voting, right? So the winners are chosen by. There's like 100 people in the industry that get sent the initial list, and we pick five people that we want to see qualify.
Which means you're on the list.
I'm on the list, yeah. So you pick 5 people that you want to qualify, and you can't pick yourself. Once that gets pared down to semifinalists, so to speak, you then pick 3 that you rank from 1 to 3, and they're assigned points. So the actual winner is just who tallies the most points out of the 100 people voting. And you have to remember that it's a lot of like media and industry insiders that are doing this. So like, you know, it could still go to Boatman, though. He's a big favorite amongst the people on the inside.
If I was a vote, I would vote for Daniel, but I can see the other side I can see the Barney side. It's just, man.
I voted for both of them. I won't say in which order.
Daniel really wanted the PPC win. That's like the biggest tournament for that.
It was massive.
Like,
absolutely massive.
It's hard to not give it.
I think whichever one does not win this category, the opposite one should win Photo of the Year. Because they both made finalists there too.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty sure Daniel's got in there. I know Barney's for sure got in there.
What we got for Photo of the Year? Do we is that next?
No, it's down at the bottom here. I'll just oh yeah. Oh no, Daniel didn't get in. I take it all back.
Okay, so Barney will win that one.
Barney's photo's sick.
There you go. He can win that one.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever. He should definitely get some accolades. This next one I think is hilarious because it's turned into a giant meme. And I don't know if it's been intentional or not, but I have to assume, based off the fact that it's just this tiny collective within the high roller sphere that's voting on this, that it's just kind of assumed amongst everybody that they vote Chidwick every year. But it's hilarious. He's won like the last 6. And I think he'll just like continue to win every single year because it's
Player's
like such a meme.
For toughest opponent.
I think the only thing that changes is who's nominated with him every year. But it's like usually some combination of like Chidwick, Kuhn, and whoever's doing well, Adamo, whatever. But Chidwick always wins every year over year. And I think that that's actually quite hilarious.
It's the Chidwick Invitational.
Yeah. I think we could have done the same thing with Twitter personality and just given it to Jamie every year. But I will say her and Marley have both taken a huge backseat in tweeting at all this year. Haven't seen any.
Why does that look like Howard Lederer below? Oh, never mind. You scrolled down. No, it's clearly not him. But from the very top of his head, I was like, that looks like a young Howard Lederer.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of these women have won this award in the past. I'm not positive if Caitlin won it or not, but I know Marley and Jamie both have.
Didn't Caitlin like scoop up a ton last year?
Yeah. So
she probably won.
She might have won it last year. I truly don't remember, but I think she did win it last year.
She got like 3 awards last year?
I think so. Maybe only 2. But
either way,
at the end of the day, we've all known since last January who was going to win this award. This is Barry Carter's award to lose. He's the meme lord. He's been giving us content for this podcast for the last 12 months. We appreciate you, Barry.
We vote for you.
Don't worry. This podcast is absolute shit, buddy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Barry ain't winning the motherfucking thing. Because you know what? Nobody watches this podcast. Nobody listens. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what?
I gotta tell you, I didn't think that was how I was gonna bring him back in. I didn't think that was how I was gonna bring him back in.
Just when you pulled us out, you brought him back in.
I'll get him back. Don't worry. We're gonna get him back in a little bit.
The mic is gone.
The mic is temporarily removed. It's fine. Best Streamer Award. Kind of similar faces here. I think Ape Styles is the only new face. We saw Bert win it last year. I think Benjamin Sprague won it a few years ago. Lex, obviously, like, you know, the king of this category. He's the OG of them all. And then Ape Style's kind of coming in as a new timer with his recent deal with WPT Global. He's been doing a lot more streaming, I believe. So best of luck to everybody in that category. Again, I voted for everybody who made this finals, so Godspeed. Best vlogger of the year. This one's kind of interesting in the sense that I saw Wolfgang's name on there and I was surprised.
Wow, we got 5 people now.
So the way this works is anybody that gets enough qualifying points to like, basically if there's a tie for 4th place, they include everybody. They don't make it a 3-person race. Instead, they make it a 5-person race, if that makes sense. But yeah, everybody out here is obviously on the grind. Corey Ehring is a little bit on the new side of things, but he has a pretty big channel as far as I know. Masato is obviously the biggest vlogger in the world, which a lot of people may not know that, but I think he has a couple million from his following in Japan. D-Negs is D-Negs, biggest name space or biggest name or face in this industry. Brad Owen, obviously, again, one of the OGs of this category. I was surprised to see Wolfgang here because I thought he would fit the short form content.
Short form content guy?
Because he only does shorts, as far as I know.
Yeah. Very few other things.
I think of vlogging being long form content.
I thought he had some vlogs that popped up on my timeline. I could be wrong, but I thought he made a couple.
His main
He
thing,
does,
though,
buddy. Don't worry. Just like they got everything else fucking wrong, they got this wrong too.
he may make vlogs, but he's known for his shorts. He has millions and millions of views.
No, absolutely.
Shorts, yeah.
But
Definitely found a hack in the system. No Ethan this year. Sad. He's won it in the past.
that feels incorrect to not have Ethan or wow, I'm blanking.
A good amount of things feel incorrect, but we'll save it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You beat Conrad to it. Good job.
Also, you guys have spent a lot of time talking about the unfairness towards you guys, but I should have been up for Picture of the Year.
Go on.
With the martini?
Yeah.
I was a Sticker of the Year.
That was a great photo. I don't know how I got robbed there.
That was the Sticker of the Year.
Time for some stickers.
Sticker of the Year. We should have a category for that. Can we host our own awards?
Yeah, sure.
It would be the only good one there is.
Let's have the user or the viewers send in ideas for categories and stuff, and then we get to vote on what the best one is. That seems like a great podcast.
You're gonna make me do so much work, but yeah, okay.
No. You don't have to do a lot of work. Guapo will do it.
Excellent. It was always going to be that way. It's fine.
Oh, that was perfect. Weekend Warrior. Best short form content creator. I think they got this one very right. Greg Goes All In, Marley, Nikki, and Caitlin. This is Nikki's first nomination, so best of luck to her. I think that I watch all of their content, so that in turn has to make it good.
Let's go, Nikki.
Rising star in content creation. I thought this one was interesting, and honestly, like the more that I comb through these categories and see like people tweeting and retweeting their own nominations, I'd like to see more stuff like this that brings in the younger portion of our community, because like Abby was just like over the moon to get nominated, right? And I think that that's the feeling that you want most nominees to feel. Like with guys like D-Negs or even us to a certain degree, it's more like we feel slighted if we're not there than we feel grateful if we are.
You think we feel fucking slighted?
I don't. But
do you think? Oh yeah, you don't. Yeah. Let me tell you. Yeah, no, because we don't get more views.
Conrad, you are definitely the heart and soul of the podcast.
Absolutely, he's popping, if you will.
Popping off.
Popping.
But my point is that like I think for those of us who've been around the industry for a long time, it's like we kind of know where our lane lies and where our place is. We don't necessarily need the acknowledgement as much. But for the young content creators, for the young players, people who are kind of dipping their toes in the water of making a career out of all this, I think getting that acknowledgement is probably worth a whole lot. So I like this category, Rising Star in Content Creation. I'm familiar with everyone except for Lemon Poker. Josh, I think, is fucking hilarious. His shorts, I think like he very well could have been in the best short form content creator category. I think his shorts are just like very creative, very good, very watchable. David Richards, I've known for a while. Used to be Beardo on WSOP. We battled back in the day. Poker with a Purpose. He, I think, only uploads to Instagram, but I'm not positive. I know that's where he uploads the most. And then obviously Abby's everywhere. She's doing media. She's doing her own channel. She's started a vlog. She's got her shorts. I think that she's by far the most popular in this category and probably the most well-known. Would be surprised if she didn't win it. Would be very surprised based off of familiarity. I know when I looked at the initial list of like 30 or 40 or whatever, only David, Josh, and Abby even popped out to me. I looked at the other like 20. It was just like, what are we working with here? I got to click on some links. You know, I got to get familiar.
He forwarded those links to Guapo, by the way.
Yeah. And say, hey, come through this and tell me what you got.
Got to do your due diligence.
That's right. I'm going to browse through these next ones pretty quickly because I think that, like, from a player's standpoint and from the audience's standpoint, these people deserve their acknowledgement, and it doesn't really matter who wins the awards. Like, this truly is just being nominated is good enough kind of thing, because I think when it comes to the industry insiders, they're all doing wonderful jobs, and when you get down to 4 finalists, it's just a matter of it's not that the other 6 to 10 that didn't make the list weren't good enough, right? It's just more so that there's this kind of churn that takes place where
don't worry, I can tell you who's not fucking good enough to make a list.
Anyway, best industry person, Gregory Chacon with WSOP, Matt Savage, I guess he's not necessarily affiliated, but mostly WPT. Andy Wong with GG Poker, and Francine Watson, who...
Andy Wong is with Triton.
Oh, Triton. Yeah. Why is it GG? Oh, Triton Million in the background. I see now. This is from Paradise, maybe?
You're looking at the background of the GG. Yeah, I see what you did.
Yeah.
You did there.
Yeah, it doesn't have it listed otherwise. Just where they're from. And then Francine, I think, won this last year for Poker Stars, but they do... Oh, I see. They have her picture last year from GPI. That makes sense. So she's with Stars. Best TDs, I think at one point or another, these guys have all been on the short list. If not, then it's well overdue. But Ray has won this award in the past. Toby Stone, who I believe is with Kings, if I'm not mistaken. Though I might be wrong about that. He might be with EPT. Luca is with Triton. Nick O'Hara with... is he with the Irish Poker Open? I believe so. Yeah, that would make sense. O'Hara.
By the way, I don't know these other guys, so I'm not slighting them at all, but Ray's
the best.
Ray's
best.
But we're
Ray's unbelievable.
Super biased because the majority of the events we play are World Series.
Yeah. But he's also just, it's hard to imagine people executing better than him because he does such a good job.
I mean, Paul's been on this list many, many times. He's won this award at least once, maybe twice. He's obviously goated when it comes to running Go stuff. I think that you could put a number of WSOP TDs up there, including Jack. And, you know, it's just like when you get down to the short list of 4, it just feels like it's slighting the others, but it's not because they're not good enough. There just isn't enough room for the short list. Best Director of Operations, you have Ryan from The Win, Carrie Jane Craigie, who I'm not familiar with. I wish it listed what rooms that they were with. I'm trying to make it out from... It looks like she's with Stars, because this is a women's festival that they ran over in London. So I would guess she's either with the London room or with Stars.
It's probably a good guess. You can tell by the font in the background. But...
Yeah. Then Ben Irwin, who's with Thunder Valley, and Federico Brunato, who, again, I would just be stabbing in the dark at who he's working with. Probably EPT, though, if I had to guess. Best events. These categories, like, I know they have to exist, but these are the ones that I wish that they just like wouldn't do on air. You know what I mean? Just like, you know how for the Grammys and the Oscars and stuff, they like go to commercial and they go, best sound guy,
right?
You know, that's where I wish they would stick all of this stuff. Mainly just because I don't think the audience cares, and that's not a slight against these series.
No, they care about people.
Right.
Individuals, personalities, and
precisely.
Right,
yeah, and also just pick the tour that's charging the least rake, and let's move on.
There you go.
What are we doing here?
There you go. So there's a category for best event, best mid-major tour / circuit, best standalone festival / series. And all of them have a lot of overlap, although there are unique. It does look like they were pretty unique with the final 4 in each one, in spite of the fact that I think all of these have some overlap with one another. This is more my interest. Best episodic poker series. I think that they did a pretty good job of this one. So the Galfond Poker docuseries, I was very adamant that this one made it to the finals. I'm glad that it did. I would have been disappointed if it hadn't. Just because I think, if nothing else, regardless of how good or bad or indifferent you are with this series, it actually fits the category. It's an episodic show that somebody produced that isn't like a live stream or just a streamed game, right? And if you would have saw the longer list, there was like 3 pieces of original content. One was this Galfond, the other is this Inside the Mind of a Pro, and then the third was, I believe, Conrad, help me out with the movie where they followed
the Ultimate Stack.
The Ultimate Stack, yeah.
Our boy Poker Films.
Right, which sadly did not make the short list.
It is the 4.
No.
Oh, I must have looked at something else. He got nominated for something.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was.
Oh, I thought
maybe it was long form content.
He definitely got nominated for something. He just put something.
You're right. You're right. It was best media content video.
Okay.
We'll get to that one. But I think that he was in the. Maybe he wasn't in the episodic. You might be right then.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't episodic. It was just a full.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
You're right. I think you're right then. So yeah, it was the Galfond series, then the Inside the Mind of the Pro. These were both episodic shows, kind of detailing more the behind the scenes of the career, and this would be in line with like what we did with Results May Vary in the past or Origins. Like there was never really a category for this, so it's good to see that they found a way to acknowledge these types of shows. It's going to be tough when you're competing against mainstream shows that are on TV, like No Gamble, No Future and the Big Game Tour. But
the Galfond doc was great.
It was great. And I'm
not saying that because we were in it.
I hope that it wins. I'm rooting pretty heavily for it. Best on-air talent, I think they nailed this one too. Shulman, Najad, Platt, and Stapleton. This was effectively a commentator's award. You got 4 of the best here. And that's no slight to anybody who didn't make it. Getting to the one that caught our eye the most, best podcast of the year. Connor, you got any thoughts?
Turn off the fucking mics. Turn off the fucking cameras. There's no point of us being here. We can't even get like validation for the shit. Like I don't even care. I don't care.
No, you care.
I do because I looked. I do care because I looked at other things and I realized something and I was just like, wait, time the fuck out. This is not right. This isn't right. There is no world where our pitcher shouldn't be in the top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right corner.
Well, I'll defend.
You can defend whoever the fuck you want.
I'll defend the voters a little bit. I don't think, and I mentioned this in our acceptance speech year 1 when we won it. I don't think that we deserve an award for attendance.
No, we don't. We have what we call views. And you know what? Yeah, maybe we only get 3,500 this last couple weeks per episode. But let me tell you something. When you times that times 5, that's a lot of views. Yeah. And nobody is putting in as much work as we do in this fucking category. So I have a serious fucking problem for an award I don't care to win. I'm done.
I really appreciate the passion, to be honest. Like, it makes me feel very good to have you be a part of something that you care this deeply for. I think that I think it's tricky because we are on 5 days a week, so people often probably don't tune in because it gets redundant, you know? Like, how many times can they hear us go on and on about the Trump coin plummeting and all the other...
All right, great. Let's just take a recap of our show and put them...
I do think that we would get more views if you let me and Guapo talk about Marab a little bit. We've really been sorely lacking in that department.
That might be a thing.
Man, it's funny.
We don't need the views!
It's funny because Nikki needled and said it's because of all the sports talk that we didn't get nominated.
Yes. We did get nominated for Best Sports Podcast, though.
There we go. So. We got to expand the category a little bit. No, I mean,
wait,
look.
what? Is that a joke? Okay.
You got Jesse.
I mean, I would not put it past the award thing to do a best poker sports hybrid
could you imagine
podcast category.
Could you imagine how pissed all the other sports podcasts that didn't get nominated over us
Of
would
course.
have been?
But like you have to understand the voting panel, the category itself, right? Chip Race and Poker in the Ears have won 4 of the last 5 of these awards. So they've each won it twice. The only person to disrupt that was us. We happened to sneak in there for 1 year and dethrone the 2 industry leaders as far as like this category goes.
Right.
Industry leaders. I want to see. Give me the 100 names that vote for this, please. Give me the 100 names.
I'm one of them, and I voted for both of them.
You have no other choice but to vote for somebody else.
No, that's not true. I could have voted. I mean, whatever.
You're not allowed to vote for yourself.
Yeah, fine.
End of story.
I did vote.
I'm done.
I did vote Thinking Poker.
That's actually very good. I like Thinking Poker for what it's worth.
Conrad's in.
That's. I mean, that to me is like the only issue with the category that I would say is that it took us being on air 5 days a week for 9 months to disrupt either one of these 2 winning the award. And I think that Brocus, for the better part of a decade, has been putting out some of the best content imaginable. I thought the issue was that he's audio only, and maybe that was a big hindrance. Then I found out that Poker in the Ears and Chip Race, at least as far as I can tell, I couldn't find anything on YouTube. They're also audio only. So I don't know what's holding back Thinking Poker from winning this. They finally were a finalist last year after this category had existed for 5 years. So they broke in and became a mainstay now this year as their second nomination. Poker News Podcast is a long-standing pod, but it's new in the sense that there's always been a bunch of turnover. So Poker News Podcast, PokerGo Podcast, and maybe one other.
You know something?
Has like had a long-standing rotation of new hosts. Go ahead, Colin.
Forget us.
Okay.
Take us out of the
forgotten.
equation.
We're out.
Done.
We're forgotten.
Why the fuck isn't table 1 here?
Nah.
That's pretty good. It's interesting. They're getting life stories. They're getting a lot. They're bringing fun out of
I just think it's
people.
way too soon.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's only been 3 months.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it's only been like 3 months.
They've probably been closer to a year, but I think like given the 4 that are finalists, and for what it's worth, they made it as far as we did. So for all we know, they might have gotten more votes than we did.
I mean, they're doing some things. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I like the
anyway.
pod.
They're not exhibiting the passion that my man Conrad.
They got passion. They got passion. They cool. I like
not
them.
on your
I like
level,
that shit
man.
a lot. Right now, nobody's on my fucking level. All right? I haven't been this amped up about something since Landon used my fucking razor. All right? Nobody. Like, I get.
On which body part?
You don't want to know.
You do not want to fucking know.
That's a lot of passion there.
Actually, you do want to know because the irony is the razor was not for Conrad's face, but happened to be used on someone else's face.
That's true.
Wait, shouldn't Landon be mad in this situation?
You would think.
Nah, I made a bad decision.
It's like I made peace with it.
I've made peace
He's
with
a man
my...
that understands that decisions have consequences.
Yeah, I need to
You get
leave
me.
because I'm going to go gamble
Yeah.
in the studio.
All right, well, go win for you can maybe
that's
get
fine.
validated, you know? Maybe you can win an award next year if you win a couple 5Ks. Who knows?
The great
I
news
won a
is
lot last year. I didn't get nominated. I
Yeah.
can't break out in the scene anymore.
you cannot break out any longer. Now you have to become the most feared player on tour with
I can't do
Chidwick.
that. I'm just like
Good
a
luck
goofy
taking
guy.
down Chidwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Chidwick in the
Yeah.
final.
Chidwick has been a lot like he's been like more not intimidating. I don't know how to put that in a
Is it the
cool-
less
is it the
intimidating?
handlebar?
The mustache is sick.
Is it the handlebar mustache?
He said that's his greatest achievement. Like people asked him, like, "Is that your greatest achievement?" He's
Right.
like, "Yeah, pretty close." So him,
Respect.
kid,
Yeah, it's
okay,
close.
bye.
Okay, bye.
What would
Good
be
luck
the-
down there, young man.
Get him,
What would be
Landon.
the ultimate table of regs who stare at each other? It would be Chidwick,
Chance.
Alti, Chance,
Foxen.
Foxen. Trying to think of who else.
Does Timex stare?
He did, but that was like 12 years ago.
Right.
It was more of like a. There was kindness behind those eyes. you
I
know?
see. Who breaks first if somebody throws a smooch in the air? You know, like you just lock eyes and give them the.
I gave Foxen a little smile one time when he was giving me the stare down, and he broke. So he's like.
He's a
got
softie.
He's got some softness underneath all of it, and I don't mean that
Now
in,
that would
in
be
a
a
bad
good,
way.
That would be
at
a
all.
great category. Best poker stare.
Oh, okay.
Best poker.
Put that on.
Best poker stare would be. I would actually get in.
Guap,
that
are you taking
category.
notes? 'Cause
Best
you gotta do
poker.
all this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get on this.
We got
We'll
the
play,
first part.
We'll play a little Lady Gaga in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Mum, 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 mum. Okay. Moving on. Best poker book. I unfortunately did not read any of these, so I don't have much input. Tough, though, to be in a category against Nate Silver, who's actually a New York Times author.
Yeah, it feels very unfair.
Seems a little bit unfair. So we got Dara and Barry Carter on Beyond GTO, poker exploits. Is this the Stapleton comic? Okay, yeah, Trapped. This is kind of cool. So this was a crowdsourced comic that Stapes did. I don't know if you guys recall when he was on, he talked about it. And then finally, Poker Pioneer, the autobiography of Tom McAvoy, written by Tom McAvoy and Brad Smith. I think that one's going to have a tough time. I feel like Nate's got a big edge on the edge in this particular category.
I mean, if you're on the New York Times top 50 book list or whatever, I don't even know if he is, but let's say
I'm not
he
positive,
is.
but I feel like he probably is.
If you don't win,
Yeah, in a poker category.
it starts to question
Right, yeah.
the award show.
Right, like, it'd
the
be like
integrity.
Maria not winning for Best Bluff. Or, is that what the name of the book was? Biggest Bluff.
Oh,
the
Biggest Bluff, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
imagine that just being up there with like Jonathan Little's Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em.
Have you read it? by the
Biggest
way?
Bluff?
Yeah.
Twice.
No, John.
Really?
It's so good.
Yeah,
I read
really
it and then
enjoyed
I
that book a
bought
lot.
the audio because she does the voiceover.
Nice.
It's so good. It's just
Yeah.
like her telling a story. It's fantastic.
No, I was just impressed that you read it twice. I wasn't
I
I
read
wasn't
it and
taken
I
away
listened.
from the book.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
fair.
enjoyed the book as well.
Fair.
But running it back is a big endorsement.
Yeah. I get
That's
it.
sick.
It's
It's a great book if you want if you're already into poker and you want to like regain some like love and motivation when you're feeling out of it. Because she really
she takes you back to the beginner's mindset a bit.
Yeah, and she really just reminds you of why it's such a great game to learn and to get better at.
That's got to be nice for her. Like, 5 years down the line, you're a little bit of a grizzled vet. You're kind of sick of running bad. And then you just go back and reread this book and be like, oh my God, I loved it so fucking much.
Yeah.
My God, I loved it so much I wrote a book. Next category is best media content written. So these are 4 articles that were written. I'm sure at some point or another I dabbled through all of these because we need content for the pod. I think that personally, the passing of the article basically looking into the passing of Steve Albini, or recounting his life, I suppose, is very hard for me to not want to win. I also like that 4 different media outlets are represented here. So you have Poker.org, Poker News, Poker Pro, and WPT. I think that's all great. Obviously, these all come with their own little heartstrings to pull. The WPT article is Cancer Fight Didn't Stop John Bird from his golden passport moment. The Poker.org one is a piece about Ari opening up with regard to the conflict over in Israel. And then obviously the bot farm one I think is really important to the industry. Like if I had to pick one that I think is most important to the industry, it's that one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick the best feel good, paying homage to somebody who's an absolute legend in the space as well as elsewhere, it would be the Steve Albini one. But my vote no longer counts. I put them in for the finalists and now people do their thing. Best media content video. This is a documentary on Victor Blum. Documentary on David Katai, the 4 Rules of Poker Kings, which was following. Was this actually on the BBC? That's awesome.
That's Niall.
Yeah, it follows Niall. I can't tell if there's another character in here or not. I saw previews for this though. It looked really good. And then
I haven't
the Ultimate
watched
Stack.
it, but I heard it was really, 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 really good.
This is another one of those where it's like I really think they got the category right just because all 4 pieces represent what we're actually looking for. In the past, like you would see best media content video and it would be like, somebody doing an exit interview at like the fucking Triton main event.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, what are we? There are people putting out feature-length documentaries.
Right.
For what it's worth, if you haven't seen The Ultimate Stack, go watch that as well, because that I did watch and I really enjoyed it.
It's funny that you're so, not to not to bring you back in, but let's bring you back in for a second.
Back in.
Don't do it.
I got to a little bit. I'm not that miffed that we didn't make the finals of this one. Like, we know the product we put out. We know how much hard work goes in, and it is what it is. And, you know, it'll also run its course. And maybe that's just an indication of what's going on here. Maybe we've just run our course and it's time to move on.
Well, you can't say that when 2 of the 4 nominees have been on there for 4 years, 5 years.
They haven't run their course.
Oh, their course has been ran, and it's been ran around fucking 19 tracks around America.
I like those podcasts.
Yeah, you know what? I might too, if they didn't fucking snub us somehow.
Well, listen, where I'm going with this is I was actually bothered when we got snubbed for the documentary. To be determined. It didn't even make the short list.
No.
It didn't?
It did not make the short list.
That's interesting.
Which was like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
And I think the year so this would have been 2020.
We just picked the wrong character.
No.
No, I actually agree
Wait, so
with you.
it was on the voting panel.
It was on the voting panel, but it was up against, like, it was weird. Like, this is why I think that they're doing a better job with the categories, because it was competing against, like, I remember it was competing against the Galfon Jungle Man 60-second commercial that was really funny. I don't know if you remember it, but they were like, I want to say that they were like spoofing like Karate Kid or something along those lines. It was funny as fuck. And also, it was 60 seconds. So if you guys know how this works, when they send out the list of nominees that you're supposed to vote on, if you're unfamiliar with something, there's a link attached, a hyperlink, and you just click it. Well, of course, I'm going to watch the 1 minute long thing.
Right.
Like,
now you have a full length feature.
Yeah, the hyperlink wasn't even like to a trailer that's 2.5 minutes long. It's a hyperlink to a 2.5 hour long documentary that nobody fucking watched. But everybody watched it because we have 250,000 views. So yeah, like I think that was a big reason why we stood no shot. If I recall, the finalists that year, all the content was like under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was no brainer. Now they put in best short form content, which eases and properly separates these sort of things. Like it's just such a slight to take a 2 hour documentary that costs who knows how many tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours to make, and then put it up against a 30-second short that's really funny and took 5 minutes in the shitter.
Right.
You know, speaking of poker shorts, best media content, short form content, we have Jesse Fullen doing a Jack Binion interview reminiscing about the World Series of Poker. Marley, the one dealer that runs a tight ship. This one was very funny. Caitlin and Abby Merck, who the fuck is Jared Jaffe? And then Nikki's What's It Like Playing Poker as a Woman? Not to throw my weight into any one basket here because I love everybody who's involved. But if Nikki doesn't win, I fucking riot. Only because it was that funny. It was funny enough that it will occasionally resurface in my reels and I'll still watch it. Because she just took like every like trope that exists, every tired, you know, anecdote about being a woman in poker, and just made it so funny. It's very reminiscent, a little bit more PG, of course, but very reminiscent of Marley's early vlogs of looking for a poker boyfriend. And like, you know, her walking out, whatever. Oh, let's not get back into the whole bottom of it's Trump's America. We're fucking back, baby. She makes that vlog today. It hits like fire. Yep. Anyway, point is, I thought it was very on brand. I thought it nailed it. It was very hilarious. And I'm campaigning for something that's already been voted on. But if she doesn't win, then I riot.
Okay.
Then I react like Conrad.
Okay.
Conrad, how you doing over there?
I am losing my shit right now.
Okay.
Personally.
Well,
I'm not very fucking happy.
Who do you like for best media content photo? We got
I haven't seen him.
The Ghost of Jason Mercier.
I can't see anything past fucking one topic in here. One category. I can't see anything else, and it's nothing else but red right now. Anyway, who is it?
We got The Ghost of Mercier, The Thrill of Victory, Barney Boatman, which I'm a sucker for black and white photos, but that picture is so fucking boss.
The Ghost of Mercier was so good.
Bro, this bounty.
But it was an accident. The bounty one's hilarious.
It's so good.
No, I don't think it was an accident. He said
maybe not.
No, Drew said that he's been trying like new things and just trying to do cool things. Barney's it's either Barney or Ghost.
Maybe we just like black and white photos.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Jeannie's face in this bounty picture is so good. Perfect.
The misery, the funny part about Jeannie's face is like she doesn't have a horse in the race, you know.
Yeah.
No dog in the fight.
She's like,
she's just
darn.
She's just truly laughing at this poor bastard's pain, and he just pulls the triple zeros at the final table when there's a 300K bounty still left.
That is kind of great. Scott's picture is good too, but I really like the new. I like the black and white.
I like the Barney one a lot.
Yeah.
Best journalist, we have a short list of Sarah Herring, Nick Jones, David Lappin, and Brad Willis. Sarah and Brad both of Poker.org. David writes for Vegas Insider, I believe, and Nick Jones might just be independent. This is one of those where it's like, Sarah's my favorite person in maybe the entire world, for sure in the media space.
He's the best.
So it's really hard for me not to just always wish her well and to win. But I will say Nick Jones is low-key one of the most valuable media sources that we have in this space that nobody really knows about. He is so fucking locked into the data. For anybody who's not familiar with his work, whenever Pennsylvania finally joined the liquidity pool with the rest of New Jersey, Michigan, etc. He was the one who was talking about all the onboarding process, what it took for them to actually become a part of the liquidity pool. He's really great with all the data. Coincidentally enough, I shared a space with him on David's podcast. I can't remember if it was on the Locked In or if it was the Chip Race pod, but either way, one of those two pods that he and Dara do together. Nick was one of the guests alongside me, and he's just brilliant when it comes to kind of knowing his shit in the space. Like, he's for sure the go-to guy when you're trying to suss out like industry insider information that may not be super obvious to the public. Huge asset to us here at the pod that he probably doesn't even realize, but this is my thank you to you, sir. And if Sarah doesn't win, I'm certainly pulling for you. That moves on to best live tournament reporter. Again, this is kind of like the like tournament directors and the other parts of the staff. It's like these guys are all just so fucking good, and they're all underappreciated by the public. So it's good that they have their own award. Would be fooling ourselves if we had like a clear indicator of like, no, this guy's the best,
right.
or that. It's like BJ's been around for 2 decades. Mickey's been out there eyeballing stacks for the better part of 2 decades and just nailing it on the point. I'm not even familiar with David or Christian, but like I'm sure actually Christian looks familiar. I'm sure they're out there crushing it in whatever events that they're doing. So best of luck to those 4. Now we get down to the Fans' Choice Awards. Best hand. We got the Barney Boatman Hero Call. This is the one that sent Eric Afrat into the fucking void.
So good.
He literally put a man on tilt for 48 hours. I mean, good. If that doesn't win, I just don't know what does.
Yeah. Is this a new category?
No.
I don't remember this when we went.
Best hand has always been there. I don't know if it's always been Fans' Choice.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
But it's always been there for sure. Because this is the one Robbie won, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, for being innocent. Go ahead, Guapo.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I said 99.7.
Okay,
right.
Give yourself a little out.
Yeah, there's a 1 outer in there.
Yeah, sure. The Poker is Crazy one. This is I think this was heads up in either the Millionaire Maker, one of those marquee events this summer. Could have been the Colossus, could have been the Millie Maker, could have been the Mystery Bounty. I'm not sure. One of them though. And his rail just showered him with beer. Very entertaining if you haven't seen it. It's everything that you want your rail to be when you're playing heads up for 7 figures. The Keating hand. This is the Keating Show, $2.4 million pot during the $1 million cash game. I believe this was the one where he turns a flush, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you guys remember this hand, but I think he gets he basically retired this kid. If you guys don't remember the $1 million game. No, this was against Raul. Yeah, that's right. I think he turned a flush versus Raul's 2-pair and sent Raul packing. Raul I had some familiarity with. He played with us over the summer, but there was another guy in the game who had been a regular on Hustler and was torturing people for a while and then ultimately got retired after the $1 million game.
Do you know who won Hand of the Year last year? Because I feel like
I don't.
it really should be the Hands Rampage hand.
Which one?
Oh yeah.
Which also
yeah.
Nearly should have retired a dude from $1 million cash game. That hand was insane.
Yeah, I
Shout out
don't
Rampage.
remember who won, but it was not. I don't think it was Rampage. But yeah, right.
No. Oh, who won the hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I know who won the hand.
No, I mean, sorry, the category.
I don't know who won the category. And then finally, Schwan is up for her aces versus kings versus ace. Wait.
King.
No. I thought it was. Isn't this the one where she got ace queen of spades to fold? Was I wrong about that? So they have a hyperlink. It looks like you can just click on it. I thought for sure this was the one where ace queen of spades made the nut flush. Yeah, I'm right. They miswrote it. There's no ace king involved.
Okay.
Come on, get on it, GPI. I can't know more than you. Jesus.
Oh, I mean.
Okay.
What do you expect? What do you expect? You expect something different. Now you scroll.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. So anyway, the way this hand ultimately plays out is kings are all in for 1,500. Queen Jack of clubs calls the 1,500 with 11K behind. Schwan gets in there with aces, and ace king of spades also gets in there with like 20K. Schwan has 15K to start the hand. Comes Jack 4-3 all spades. They all see a turn for like 1,000 each. Turn pairs the board 4. I think Schwan check jams or just open rips maybe. Yeah. So it looks like it. Oh, okay. It checks to Queen Jack. Queen Jack bets 3K. Ace Queen of Spades calls the 3K. Schwan then jams for 10K more. Ace Queen of Spades somehow finds a fold, and Queen Jack calls it off. So, the Mega Master merge where you get the nut flush to fold that you're basically dead against. You get Queen Jack to stick it in, which is basically dead against you. And then you got two kings sitting on the sidelines reloading.
Basically a dream scenario.
Dream scenario. Awesome hand. Probably didn't send anybody into a 48-hour blender the way that Boatman did. Can't find a way not to vote for Boatman in this one, but you guys did all the voting out there as fans, so we'll see who it comes down to. That leads us into most entertaining player. This used to be.
I'm gonna ride for this one as well.
Okay.
Ren Lin. Where is he?
Where is Ren Lin?
Where is Ren Lin?
Ren needs to step up his social media game, man.
He doesn't need it. The man is an OG.
It's a fan's choice.
He's a fucking gangster. You know what, fans? Listen, look at me right now. Look at me. You fucking backdate your goddamn nominations and you put Ren in there as number one. Because honestly, nobody is better and nobody is more entertaining
Lady Gaga
than Ren Lin.
Tom Brady.
Nobody. He's the best.
So this category,
win or lose.
This category used to be player's choice or player, something along those lines. It was not most entertaining. It was favorite player or something along those lines. It was fans' choice. This is one that Jonathan won in the past. And it's always just been a campaigning thing. I think I saw, if I'm not mistaken, Greg Goes All In maybe won this one year. So it's always been a mix of players and influencers, and we have exactly that this year. So you have Papa MC, Mr. Lococo himself, recent winner of the Super Main Event down in the Bahamas. Texas Mike, who obviously has made a huge footprint on the high stakes scene this year. Sethy Poker, I only know him from the influencer side, though I'm sure he's grinding something somewhere. And then Caitlin with her most recent deal with Stars, obviously going to be amplified in a very big way moving forward. So this is obviously well-deserved, both from an influencer standpoint and soon to be online grinder standpoint now that she is streaming from New Jersey. Best of luck to everybody in that category. Obviously throwing my weight behind Caitlin as she's a friend of the pod, and we like when friends win.
Right. She's so funny, man.
She's great.
She's really very, very talented.
Yeah, she really is great. All right, let's round this thing out and get out of here. We got Trophy of the Year. Never cared about this one, to be quite honest, but we got the WPT Mike Sexton's trophy, easily the most iconic. You got a belt buckle for PGT Texas. You got the Triton Poker Series trophy, which is fucking sick. And then the World Series of Poker bracelet, which, exactly is what it is.
I wouldn't mind having any of those,
They should include in the Triton thing the watch you get, because the watch is
It's super dope.
Yeah, it's a dope watch.
Cool.
What's abundantly clear here is, though it may be cool, this belt buckle is drawing dead.
Watch it win.
404. Definitely 4-4. All right, so we got best poker live stream, no HCL. Wow. 2 years in a row.
Oh boy.
The people have spoken. Mm-hmm. It's a fan's choice.
Yes, it is.
Where are all the fans? I don't understand. Lodge made it. Kings Resort Live, go ahead.
To be clear, when you say it's the fans' choice, is the original submissions, whatever they are, like 100 or whatever they are, are those sent in by actual every fan? Because if it's more poker-based fans, I feel like...
No, the initial curated list is...
by 100 people.
I don't think it's not 100. No. It's not 100 on the list. Like, GPI curates a list. Let's call it 25. And they put that out to the fans to vote. And then they can also write in if they choose. And then as the votes come in, you have a short list of 4.
Okay, because if I feel like if you wanted to do a poll of like every person who lives in America, HCL would crush. But if you do it amongst poker players,
well,
it's a completely different.
It's open. It's just open sourced. So they just put a link out on their Twitter and say vote for best poker live stream.
Yeah, but that's already bringing it down to a very specific set of people who are.
Do you guys want
it's
me
gonna be way more of America than anything else?
Do you guys want me to say it? Nobody voted for King's Casino.
That
Nobody voted for King's Casino. Hustler probably has a better more votes than King's Casino.
Well, obviously not. Kings made the short list.
Well, you know something? You know who didn't make a short list?
I will say Kings.
Something's wrong.
No, that's not true because WSOP is at Kings, WSOP Europe. So I think a lot of people follow that. Their set actually is quite pretty.
Don't worry, Conrad. We didn't make the short list, but we made the short bus. So we're doing great over here, buddy. Don't worry about us.
Kings replaces EPT or sorry Stars Live, which won it last year. The Lodge made this last year, I believe. Also, I actually think HCL was on the short list last year, but they lost to Stars. Triton in there, and then PokerGo. Obviously, Lodge deserves a tip of the hat just for even making the short list. They're dealing against 3 massive streams that all have their own like full-blown studio. Kings and Triton, of which or I guess Triton is traveling, though I guess that's more of a tip of the cap to share hands. Final one is best poker room. Aria, Asia Poker Arena, don't know where that's at. Kings Resort Live, and then Playground in Montreal. I love Playground for what it's worth, although the only times I've ever been there, it's freezing fucking cold.
I went there. It's really nice.
It is nice. It's
I like
huge.
That place. Yeah.
It's huge.
And like the poker room you're talking about.
Everything. It's like 3 stories. Yeah. The second level is just like all dining. It's massive. It's a massive property.
You know something funny? I don't even think I saw the whole thing. I only remember not. 2 levels.
Yeah. There's a huge stage there that they run their live stream on, I think on level 1. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway. I've only been to Aria and Playground, so I can only speak on those 2. Obviously, gorgeous rooms. My heart lies with Aria, but best of luck to all 4 involved. And that's going to do it. Those are the nominees. Tune in, I believe, February 22nd for the actual award show hosted by the one and only Jeff Platt, who is surely going to miss having us there to make fun of.
Yeah, for sure.
I know he was really upset the year that I came a little bit late, and he missed.
I gave him content.
Missed a big joke for.
I mean, let's keep it real. We probably weren't going to show up anyway. Like we weren't going to fucking show up anyway. But like, get the fuck out of here! I can't breathe.
All right. Well, you heard the man. Let's get the fuck out of here. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell. Let us know who you think should be winning in each of these categories. And who you would have nominated. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Peace.